ghost hunt. All right, welcome in once more, my adoring faithful, my cultist. I'm sorry, for legal reasons, I can't call you that. My fellow ritual performers, my fellow practitioners of the dark arts, welcome in for another Newbie Tuesday, where we will be exploring the very limits of computer science, the uncharted territory of cybersecurity. Welcome. And I, as ever, am Alhazred, and I'm here to teach you how to get there yourself. Welcome. We're heading right down to the slimed halls of Rillia today, friends. Right down into the very bowels of non-Euclidean space to add, for the simple purpose of adding more wrinkles to our brains. Okay? Who's here to add a few wrinkles to their brains? Who is here? Who is here for a few more brain wrinkles? I dropped one of the things that I incessantly play with while I'm at my desk. Oh my goodness. Well, even if you're not here for more brain wrinkles, too bad, you're gonna get some. Okay? Too bad you're getting some. Your smooth brains will become wrinkly. Let us pray to dread Cthulhu that our brains might be made wrinkly by his great influence. Welcome. And verily I say unto you, Finglui Mugwanoff Cthulhu Rilye Gognoggle Fot. Silent Scan, welcome to the stream. Wanted to see what the streams are about? It's about hacking, my dude. We're hackers on this stream. I tend to wax a little poetic about the cosmic horror influence, but really we're here for cybersecurity. We're here to hack into machines. We're here to learn how to do more hacking. I am a professional hacker. This is what I do for a living, and I am going to teach you how to do it as well. Because, hey, that's just a cool fucking thing to do. Okay, I am starting Stream Raiders. We aren't going to forget. Today is Newbie Tuesday. Today in particular is the day when we focus more on the beginners among us. Those brains who, while not smooth, perhaps haven't had the chance to become as wrinkly as some of the rest of us. And we'll be breaking everything down as much as possible so that hopefully everyone can understand it. And if there's anything that I don't understand well enough, I don't explain well enough, you can always ask about it in the chat, okay? Oh my goodness, Doc Hobb. Doc Hobb, you psychopath. You madman, you've lost it. He's lost in the immemorial lunacy. Pink Emma, the other, Chirigartani Husky Hacks, D's 64. Welcome to the Alhaz Red Team, my friends. Thanks for supporting the stream. Oofies, thank you so much for the first time Prime indoctrination into the cult. Welcome to the Alhaz Red Team. Got through buffer overflows thanks to your guide. Hey, I need to update that guide, my dude. I want to do some more buffer overflow stuff. Lately, people have been asking for a lot of that Active Directory stuff. I think it's because OSCP has added Active Directory and people just don't feel comfortable on that stuff as much. I get a lot of questions about it offline as well, so... but we do want to go to dabble back into those buffer overflows at some point here. Tiberius, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Ian, Gregory, Dev, Digom, BR, Cup of Coffin, and Hoden. And Tony Nachos, thank you for the follows. Cthulhu Fountain, one and all. Thank you so much for the follows. Oh, I was going to watch your stream, Tiberius, and then there was a horrible nap accident that occurred. So I missed it. I apologize for that. I'm still, like, I'm working a normal schedule now, but I'm still kind of on last week's schedule where I kind of just want to take a nap in the I take a long nap in the afternoon before I have to actually work starting in the evening. Or at least that's what I had to do last week, and I hated it. So I'm starting to return to a normal schedule now as I'm doing the reporting. Stream Raiders is going now. Be ready to see Alhazred searching SCP example. Actually, I'm getting pretty good at SCP. I have to use SCP fairly frequently for work now, so I don't forget the syntax anymore, which is good. Thanks for giving consideration to that podcast interview request. Just like to have heard back from you. Hey, I haven't actually. I'm gonna probably do it, Hob. I'm not giving consideration to it. Well, I did give it consideration. I just haven't actually listened to the actual podcast yet. I apologize for that. Let me. I'll get to that after the stream tonight. I'll listen to the podcast, get a feel for the general vibe, and then we'll work out some times. Okay. We'll work out some good times for me to hop on your podcast, and you can ask me various inappropriate questions, I'm sure, because I'm an open book. Oh goodness! Last night at 3 a.m. I used an Oracle padding attack to break encryption and hack the box. That sounds fun. Is the hack the box CTF still going on? Is it like the whole week? I did see the Only Feet contingent in the hell, I see them in there now. Probably doing hack the box stuff. I saw them in there last night. I thought about popping in there to say hi, but I didn't want to be a pest. I didn't want to bother. Howdy everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm doing just great, Dizzle Rizzle. I'm doing just great. Especially now that we're off that night assessment. Thank God. Thank God. Alrighty. Are you guys ready to get started? I think I'm ready to get started. I think I just want to hop right in today. I think I just want to hop right the fuck in, okay? We're going in all raw, no rubber today, okay? All raw, no rubber. And also, there's going to be some comments about this, so I just have to get over here. Alrighty. So, you might notice we made a couple of changes here. I've changed my terminal quite a bit. And you'll see that when we get into Tmux, I've changed that as well. I just removed those colors right now. They actually are removed when you first start the terminal. They actually are removed. I just ran NeoFetch separately for this time. Going from the Chris Nova look, yeah, I got the idea from her. I thought it looked fucking great. What are you doing? Where? She just ran into the room and started yelling, and then turned around and sprinted out. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she's doing. She always seems to get weird right when I start streaming. Yeah, pipe through lolcat. What do you mean pipe through lolcat? Oh, you mean like make it all rainbowy like you have on yours, Tibbs? I wasn't sure how you were doing that, but I don't really feel the need to have all kinds of rainbows. I think it looks I don't like these colors here. I don't like these colors. Those colors do not appear when I just start my terminal. Like if I just start a new terminal here, I'm in the wrong window. If I just start a new terminal, the colors don't appear because I don't have those command line switches hit. I have those command line switches to disable them. So yeah, I did change my terminal. I like it better this way. It looks a little retro and cool. So I'm playing with it. Alrighty. Alrighty. So let's start, let's pick a box. Let's pick a box. Now we did have a few requests. Specifically, I had some viewers request some... Which OS is this? This is Kali Linux. You're looking at a Kali Linux virtual machine. God damn it. I always forget to click the little CAPTCHA button. Who is trying to log in to TryHackMe with a bot? Who is doing this? Give me names. Nice customization. I played with Oh My Tmux as well, so my Tmux also looks a little different. And I'll point that out when we get into it. Okay, type challenges. Now, one challenge, what I was specifically recommended was to do some SQL injection. And I'm going to assume that that person is requesting me to do some kind of manual SQL injection rather than just using SQL map, which a lot of these SQL injections can just be solved with SQL map. So I can't remember. I remember there were a few machines in general that we did. We did this one a long time back, but I remember this one I did manually. And it was a good example of a beginner SQL injection of a pretty comprehensive beginner SQL injection. You can even see the little tag down here. It is kind of a more CTF style box, but really it's not.
A hunter must
Can't you start in SQL and see what you get? Yeah, sure, I can do that. I think there was like one of those year of boxes. Which one was it? It might have been Year of the Dog. It might have been one of these Year of boxes also had an interesting SQL injection. Year of the Rabbit, I think, was more of a CTF style machine. Year of the Jellyfish was the one with the public IP. Year of the Pig because pigs squeal. Yeah, squeal injection. Yeah, well, I don't remember which one exactly it was, but we'll throw in... plus, these ones are rated hard. I'd rather not do hard boxes on Newbie Tuesday. So we'll start... are there any boxes in particular you guys would like? UTZ Nix with the 8 months... Welcome back to the All Has Red team, my friend. Thanks for supporting the stream. 8 months of Prime. That's so nice of you. We'll pick any boxes that you want to see in particular, chat. I would prefer it be easy or medium to fit Newbie Tuesday. We don't want to be doing anything too advanced on Newbie Tuesday. Server-side request forgery is usually a little bit more advanced. Chocolate Factory? You're losing me at CTF and Stego. I love Hack the Box. We did Hack the Box last stream. We do Hack the Box quite frequently, but we did Hack the Box last stream. We just changed it up. I did an interesting squeal on Proving Grounds. Well, I think we're gonna do TryHackMe today. We did Proving Grounds last week on Newbie Tuesday. There was a decent sequel eye on the Hack the Box CTF. Well, I can't do that. Any boxes that relate to recent Vulms exploits being found in the wild? Dude, all of them? Are you under... Drake, are you under some kind of incredibly mistaken impression that we've just solved SQL injection and that those don't appear in the wild anymore? I found them. I found a few of them. Like, 2 of my findings on my most recent assessment are SQL injections. 2! And I wasn't even looking for web application vulnerabilities. I was on an internal pen test. I was more concerned about Active Directory. And I still am like, I'm tripping over SQL injection, dude. Like, I try to log into web apps and I'm accidentally getting SQL errors. Like, that's the kind of shit I'm just getting SQL errors just trying to log in with credentials that I've stolen from elsewhere on the network. Like, I'm just tripping over SQL injections, my dude. SQL injections are being found in the wild all the time, okay? So, yes, there are boxes that relate to vulnerabilities that are being found in the wild, okay? Thank you for asking. All right, we'll go challenges. Let's go newest. Hey, Kubernetes. That seems like a good one, right? For Newbie Tuesday, Kubernetes? No, it's not. We're not going to do Kubernetes. Beginner level binary exploitation challenges. Ooh, my goodness. Ooh. Fucking spicy. This is we might want to do this at some point. We might want to do this at some point, but it's not good for Newbie Tuesday. This is definitely a winner for another day, though. I am excited about this. Good for newbies, though. I don't really know if I want to be. It wants us to use Python scripting and pwn tools, which I've never used. I don't know. I still think it's a lot. Even if it's a beginner stack-based exploitation, it's probably a little bit too much for Newbie Tuesday. No, I meant Eternal Blue. I mean, yeah, Eternal Blue is super easy to use. Napping was really interesting. Simple reversing challenge. Dog cat. I think, have we done that one? Dog cat on TryHackMe? Yeah, we've done this. I've done this one. It's just not showing as complete for some reason. Sometimes TryHackMe rooms do that. I think we've done that one recently, so I want to stick with stuff I haven't done recently. Let's go with newest. See, we're seeing more reversing and blue team stuff, which is interesting. I like that. Flatline. Oh, this one has SQL gallery. All right, we'll start a poll here. As always, if we don't make it through one box, we'll do another one. If we make it through one box too quickly, we'll do another one. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll throw flatline in there. I don't know what we're dealing with on that one, but an uncommon web application. What? Hamlet. Used in linguistic NLP research. That doesn't sound like Newbie Tuesday to me. We'll throw IDE in there. I remember this one was good. I remember really enjoying that one. I don't even remember what it was about, but I remember really enjoying that one. Couch. I assume that's using CouchDB, which could be like SQL injection. I'm not sure. All right, get your votes in. Get your votes in. Totally doesn't say daddy in base. Stops, dude. I swear to God, like that. My kids, like when I have kids, by that time the word daddy is gonna be so sexualized in my head that they're just gonna have to call me bro or bruh or hey you or something like that. Like I'm not like y'all need help. You need Jesus, okay? My brothers in Christ. You need Christ, okay? All right, let me get some water while you Let me get some water while you guys vote here. Right. Are you fuckers ready? Oh my goodness. It looks like we're gonna have Jurassic Park. An excellent decision. The Helen of Tor cracking down in chat. Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me. My soundboard is failing me. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, so we picked Jurassic Park, right? Jurassic Park CTF. An excellent decision. I'd say in honor of the new Jurassic Park Dominion movie that's coming out, but is anyone really enthused about Jurassic Park movies anymore? I mean, honestly, has anyone ever enjoyed these ones with Chris Pratt? Is anyone liking these movies? Who are they? Give me names. I want names. Yes? Okay, well, Tiberius, you have shitty taste in movies then, because... Okay, hear me out. Literally, the Jurassic World is just Jurassic Park again, but with Chris Pratt. And instead of, and for some reason a T-Rex is not enough anymore. We have to have a genetically engineered dinosaur Hitler. Instead of... We have to have genetically engineered dinosaur Hitler instead of just the regular Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like, we're out of big dinosaurs, apparently. We only had T-Rex and we had the Spinosaurus in that one in Jurassic Park 3. I mean, I like the dinosaurs too, but even I have to admit that the logic behind the dinosaur Hitler was fairly slim. Why did you there's a whole scene in the movie where they're like where the guy's like, well, we took a T-Rex and we gave it a velociraptor brain to make it super smart. And then they're just like, well, why the fuck did you make a T-Rex super smart? And he's like, well, we had to make it super smart and also make it go invisible in order to optimally use these guns we made for it. And they're like, what? Listen, could you calm down and help me translate Mein Kampf into dinosaur? Like, it's just, it's so ill-advised. Like, how do I put it's like, it's got the same vibe as the new Alien movies, okay? The same vibe as the new Alien movies, where all of the characters are just gonna make the worst possible decisions at every possible juncture. And that's gonna be what pushes the plot forward. And that just irritates me. Also, like a big plot point of the movie is that the military wants to use velociraptors as, like, bioweapons, which is the same as alien, and that it worked out was about as well there. Oh, I didn't even so let's CD TryHackMe, Victor, Jurassic Park. Okay, Tmux new Tech X, Jurassic Tech X, we'll just call it stream. Okay, so we've Tmux, I changed the colors of Tmux, which don't always show up the best in this new terminal that I'm using. But I also added you'll notice I added my current IP address down here at the bottom. Which is because, as anyone who has watched this stream for any length of time knows, I have to literally type ifconfig like 40 times a stream because I keep forgetting what my IP address is. Yeah, Tibbs, get with me off stream and I'll give you the code required. This is just my ETH0 IP address right here. But you'll see that when we connect to the VPN, it'll change. Not immediately, but it will change when it reloads my tmux.conf file. Okay, so no hacking happening just yet. All I'm doing is connecting to the virtual private network, the VPN, that allows you to connect to these hack the box machines. So I'm going to make a new window, and now you'll see that my IP address has changed to 10.2.54.81. That's just because when I make a new pane, my tmux.conf is reloaded again. So it recalculates what my IP address is. If I have basically the code, it's a short script that tests to see if I have a ton0 interface, and if I don't have a ton0 interface, it'll just give me my ETH0 address. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and make sure we can ping. Ping 10.10.1.39. Now we can ping it. We are getting responses here, and what we can notice about this is this time to live field right here. This time to live field right here is 61. What does that indicate? It's a Unix system, okay? It's a Unix system. That is what it indicates. That's how the stream is going to be, okay? I'm going to need you all to just bear with me. That's how it's going to be. So, if you didn't catch the joke, the Linux by default sets the time to live field of an ICMP packet at 64. So, if you see a time to live less than 64, it's very likely a Linux machine that is responding to you. If you see it as more than 64 and less than 128, it's likely to be a Windows machine. How does working on a machine from TryHackMe Hackbox differ from an actual engagement where you may have 100 IPs? Well, you just explained the difference. Congrats, Wookin Phoenix. Wookin Phoenix. First of all, excellent name. Second of all, you just explained the difference. Instead of one machine, there are a lot. That's it. That's the only difference. The only difference is that you just need to be more comfortable in dealing with large numbers of hosts and picking off low-hanging fruit. This is why certifications like the OSCP emphasize enumeration so much. Enumeration is so heavily emphasized in OSCP because you're typically not going to be on a network of only 5 hosts. You're going to be on a network of thousands. And you need to be able to work efficiently to find the weak spots. Okay? Find the weak spots. ATOB, how'd you get that GUI? This is Cool Retro Term in Kali. It's called Cool Retro Term. It's in the Kali repos, so you can apt-tac-y install it. And I just tweaked the settings to make it look this way. It doesn't look this way by default, but this is I spent a little while tweaking the settings of Cool Retro Term. It has a number of other ones, like we can see if we look in profiles, you can see that this one is the Fallout New Vegas theme. We got the Fallout New Vegas theme here. We've got the Fallout 3 theme. We have all the Fallout themes, okay? All the Fallout themes. This one is the Fallout theme, but even harder to read. So you have a wide variety of options. We're not going to go through them all right now. The one I'm using is futuristic. And then I tweaked the effects a little bit because I didn't like the defaults quite as much as I'd like. I like the hard to read. Of course you do. Of course you do. Damn, that's sick. Yeah, feel free to play with it off stream. I got the idea from Chris Nova, so, yeah. Chris Nova, I didn't even know that this terminal existed until the other day. But when I saw it, I was like, shit, that's fucking awesome. All right, so let's go. Let's start off with our Nmap scan. Let's just do a basic Nmap scan first. Everyone's got, like, their own little Nmap switches that they like to run every time. So Nmap, if you don't know, is a port scanning tool. It stands for Network Mapper. Basically, all it's doing is it's sending a whole lot of packets to the target, and depending on how the target responds, we can make inferences as far as what software is listening on that target. In order to hack into a box, most of the time we're gonna need it to be listening on some port. We're gonna need it to be open to receiving network connections somewhere, and network connections always happen over either TCP or UDP ports, at least for the TCP or UDP protocols. So the box at least must be open to accepting a network connection. But this isn't 100% true. It is possible to hack a machine that isn't accepting any network connections at all. But that's a discussion for another time. So here we see that 2 ports are open. Nmap has found 2 ports open. Does this mean these are the only 2 ports open? Perhaps not. Okay, Nmap by default scans the top 1,000, as in the most popular 1,000 TCP ports. And there are 65,535 TCP ports. So there are quite a few just TCP ports that Nmap did not scan. Okay, there's also UDP ports. UDP is its own protocol and has its own 65,535 UDP ports. UDP is a little bit less likely to see services that we can potentially break. So I usually, and it also the scans A take a long time, and B are notoriously unreliable. So I typically only scan UDP ports if I don't find anything on the TCP side. And yeah, name a more iconic duo than port 22 and 80. These are 2 very common ports to see open, both in CTFs, like at Hack the Box and TryHackMe, and in the real world. SSH typically listens on port 22, and HTTP listens on port 80. So web servers will often be listening on port 80. There are going to be some of you in chat who are going to go, Mr. Streamer, is it not true? I submit to you, Mr. Streamer, that most HTTP happens over port 443 these days because everyone uses SSL. First of all, most of the just because your Twitter, the 3 websites that you go to every day and get all your news from, use HTTPS, doesn't mean that everybody is using HTTPS. Okay? First of all. Second of all, usually websites will have port 80 and port 443 open, and if they receive a request to port 80, it'll automatically redirect to port 443. That's a very common website configuration that you'll see. Is there any specific reason these ports are standardized? Just because that's become the convention. That's just how people have done it for so long. You don't necessarily need to have web servers run on port 80. And you'll see a lot of web servers in the real world and in CTFs that are not running on port 80. You can have a web server running on any port you want. And same with SSH. Any service can run on any port that you'd like. As long as that port is not currently in use by any other service, obviously. It's just that, as a convention, people tend to people tend to run web servers on port 80 and SSH servers on port 22. But we can also do a scan of all ports with TACP-TAC like this. This just tells it to scan all TCP ports. And we'll have this one output to a file as well. Okay, so that's gonna take a little bit longer because obviously it's scanning a lot of ports. In the meantime, we can deal more with those ports that we've already looked at. So Nmap, TACP 22, and 80. So we're gonna have Nmap scan specifically these two ports, and we're gonna add the TAC SV. And what's the TAC SV gonna do for us? It's gonna try and detect software versions. It's going to try and detect software versions of the stuff that's running at that port. And you might say, well, Mr. Streamer, Nmap already detects that this service is SSH and this service is HTTP. Nmap is only guessing based on the services that are most commonly found in that port. By default, Nmap doesn't do any service detection. But down here, we are telling it to do service detection. Okay? We are telling it to do service detection. And we see that, yes, there does seem to be an SSH server running on port 22. And it's identifying itself as OpenSSH 7.2 P2, the Ubuntu version. And we also see Apache HTTPD 2.4.18, also running on Ubuntu. So this is very likely a Ubuntu Linux machine. And I understand I just pronounced Ubuntu two different ways in the same sentence. And I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back about that. Just getting out ahead of that criticism coming from chat. Listen, nobody actually knows how to pronounce it. Okay? Literally, not a single person exists.
What are you doing, step bro?
Nobody knows how to pronounce Ubuntu. Okay? Even the people who made Ubuntu don't know how to pronounce it. Okay? Nobody knows. It's like the GIF versus GIF debacle. Okay? So, one thing we could do at this juncture is, since we see that this is a Ubuntu, we see that this is Ubuntu Linux, we can actually Google on the Ubuntu Launchpad, which is the website where they give information on their various releases of their open source operating system. And we can see which version of Ubuntu specifically shipped with this version of OpenSSH. And this gives us a little bit more information about the target. We see that this shipped in the Ubuntu's Xennial build. So, and we could also search for Apache's version as well, to see if which version of Ubuntu shipped with this version, or shipped with this version of Apache. Because if they match up, it's very likely that this is an Ubuntu machine. Okay? Are we doing Stream Raiders? Yes, Stream Raiders is running right now. Yes, so this version of Apache also shipped in Ubuntu Xennial. So it's very likely this is Ubuntu Xennial. Like, somewhat recent. It came out a couple of years back, but not so far in the past that I'd be looking for, like, any common kernel exploits like Dirty Cow. But I would look for Polkit, which is much more recent. For the purposes of this stream, we're not going to worry about recent kernel exploits like Polkit's not really a kernel exploit. It's it is a memory exploit, but it's we're not going to look at any more recent vulnerabilities in Linux itself. It's very likely an unpatched version of Ubuntu Xennial. Okay, so let us, at this point, we can go ahead and browse 139. Okay, well, the title of the page, I don't know if you can see, is Jurassic Park. So, excellent. Nice work. I appreciate it. Yeah,
Clever girl.
welcome to Jurassic Park. That's good. Indeed, we spared no expense. Exactly. So this appears to be a rudimentary website. Tickets cost $100,000 per person. To pre-book your tickets, use our online shop. Okay, well let's check out the online shop. I feel like I'm buying NFTs here. This looks like your average NFT shilling. Like, literally, they put the logo on here and couldn't pronounce Jurassic correctly. Or couldn't spell Jurassic correctly. And also bronze. So you're dealing... Also bronze as well. Basic. A basic tour around the park. Bronze. Tour around the park. And dinosaur lunch. Wait. So... what exactly is a dinosaur lunch? Is that... am I eating a dinosaur, or is the dinosaur eating me? Like, what? It's probably the latter, judging from how Jurassic Park usually goes. Are we the lunch? I believe that actually, yes, we are the lunch, yes. Gold, tour, dinosaur lunch, and free dinosaur egg. Free dinosaur egg. So why is Dennis Nedry, like, sneaking the fucking DNA vials out of the park and getting eaten by Dilophosaurus? When you could just get a free dinosaur egg by buying the gold Jurassic Park NFT. Like, listen, Nedry. There were better ways. That's true. He didn't say the magic word. That is true.
Please! God damn it! I hate this hacker crap. Phone it.
Okay, so let's try clicking on one of these. Before we try any tomfoolery, any shenanigans, if you will, it's always best to just click around on the website and see what kind of basic functionality you're dealing with, okay? You don't want to just jump right into... so what are some things we're noticing about this particular page? Other than the fact that this says, children under 5 can attend free of charge and will be eaten for free. This package includes a dinosaur lunch, tour around the park, and a free dinosaur egg from a dino of your choice. Okay, in what order, though? I feel like the order of these is actually very important. Yeah, so what we're noticing up here, you want to be cognizant when you're clicking around on a website. When you're clicking around on a website, you want to be aware of parameters in the URL. Like, what is the website doing, very likely? And to help us out with that, we can use a web proxy to intercept our requests. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to use Burp Suite Community. This is free software that you can use to intercept your web requests and see what your web requests look like going to and from the web application. Let's do Stream Raiders really quickly while Burp is starting up. It's Newbie Tuesday and Zap is crap. I mean, I don't like it because it's different from burp. And I've just used burp for way longer. But Zap is a perfectly fine piece of software. I don't know if anyone would argue that Zap is better than Burp Suite Professional. I think Burp Suite Professional is very clearly superior to Zap in many different regards. But I would say I think that the argument could be made that Zap is better than Burp Suite Community. Okay, it's warning me that my burp is out of date. Let's turn off the intercept. That's fine. Technique with 10 kills and GoPro with 1 assist.
Hey, listen.
What? Yes, Maticus. How can I help you? We haven't switched back yet, Maticus. There we go. There we go. We can see again. All right. So now we can go back to our terminal here. And we can go back to our web browser. And I'm going to choose in my browser extension, Foxy Proxy, which I have to install separately. I can just turn on burp. So Firefox will redirect all of my web requests through burp here. And then burp will send the requests to the server. So for my browser, I'll still be able to like interact with the website normally, but I'll be able to see the underlying web requests that are going to and from. Like if we click on this, we can see that burp is intercepting a number of requests. Now, we don't typically care about these requests for little JavaScript things. What the fuck is that terminal? This is cool retro term. We're trying it out. What we're interested in is this request right here. And what we're noticing about this request is that it has an ID parameter in here. And how interesting, because let's go ahead. What if we want to play with this parameter? Well, we could obviously do it right here.
Please! God damn it! Hate this hacker crap. Phone it.
Okay, well. There's the memer himself, Dennis Nedry, giving us permission deigned. And we didn't say the magic word. All right, so I like this box already. So what's happening here is what just happened here, chat? Like, okay, don't say that we didn't say the magic word, okay? Do not say that we didn't say the magic word. SQL error? We don't know that. Let's not make inferences we don't know. Yes. Determined I used an illegal character. Perfect. So there's some kind of filtering or web application firewall happening here that is detecting that, hey, you've tried to do something bad. In this case, it looks like a single quote is a blacklisted character. Why would a single quote be a blacklisted character, chat? In this particular context, why would we expect a single quote to be a blacklisted character? SQL injections. Yeah, because single quotes are used to denote strings in SQL. And don't worry, we're going to get into the specifics of SQL. We're going to have to, because this is Newbie Tuesday. So we will go into the details of what's going on behind the scenes here. But a string in SQL is commonly denoted with with an apostrophe, also known as a single quote. So what prompts you to play with that ID parameter? You want to be looking for areas in which the web application accepts user input. In this case, like one of the places that a web application can accept user input is in parameters in the URL, in get parameters and in post parameters. So you want to be cognizant of get parameters and post parameters and play with them a little bit. Okay? SQL injection versus command injection. Here, it's more likely to be an SQL injection, and I'll let you know why that is. Because here's how websites are typically laid out. There's typically a front end, which is the HTML you're seeing right here, and the JavaScript, and all the stuff that creates the user interface that the user actually interacts with. And then behind the scenes, the front end is communicating with a back end, which is usually a database and maybe some other components. And the database stores things like user account information and any data that the website needs at hand, such as, oh, I don't know, the price of the gold package, what the gold package is, its price, how many of them have been sold, and so on and so forth. So this front end is sending a query to the back end, probably based on what's in this ID parameter. So let's go ahead and change it to a 2. And you see that now we have the bronze package. We have the bronze package. And I wonder if on the bronze package you get those really cool night vision goggles that were apparently expensive just because they were heavy. Okay, my question is, under which package do I get Jeff Goldblum lecturing me about the nature of chaos in the universe? Like, which level of package is that? Is there like a diamond package where I get Jeff Goldblum in my car that like watching a fucking a fucking bead of water roll off my hand? Like they spared no, they did indeed, they definitely spared no expense. So we see that based on what we're seeing here, no results found. Okay, so here's what's very likely happening. Okay, let's do a notepad stream. Okay. So in order to extract information, so we see that the actual page we're interacting with here is called item.php. Item.php. There is not a separate page for every package for like the gold, basic, and bronze packages. Okay? Instead, the item.php page is making a SQL query to some back-end database. Okay? And that SQL query probably looks something like this. Select I guess name, cost. I don't know how many columns there are yet. We'll have to enumerate that shortly. Name, cost, and quantity. It looks like this is also being pulled from the database. Name, cost, quantity from packages where ID equals user input. Now, the actual SQL query doesn't say user input. This is just a placeholder. This is just a placeholder for user input. Okay? This is a basic SQL query. Oh, you can't see. This is probably, so we don't know how many columns it has. We'll have to figure that out here. I'm just assuming it has 3 columns just based on what's on the page. I bet you this name is a column. I bet you this price is a column, and I bet you this quantity is a column. Okay? So it's possible it has 3 columns. It may have more, or it may have less. Okay? So does the PHP interact with this directly? Yes. So the PHP is making a SQL query on the back end that we can't see. We can just infer what it's very likely doing. Okay? Also, the description. It might have description as well. Again, we don't know. We're gonna. One of the first things we're gonna have to do is determine how many columns there are in order to properly inject. Okay? So where does this break down? Like, lots and lots of websites do this. Almost every website is going to have a back-end database in the modern day, okay? So where does this go wrong? This isn't inherently wrong. Where does it go wrong, chat? Where is this potentially exploitable? Yeah, input validation. As is so often the case, especially with web applications, the place it can go wrong is input validation. And what do I mean by that? Mr. Streamer, what do you mean by input validation? Okay? By input validation, I mean it's checking to see what the user is putting into this parameter. Now, we've seen it is doing a little bit of input validation, because if we put a single quote, we get this. Right? So there is at least a little bit of input validation occurring. But it's also possible that this is not a string. It's also possible that it's not accepting a string into this input. So we can actually try and put like 1 or 1 equals 1. We could try a simple injection here. Oh, it looks like that also got caught. So it might be these hyphens that get caught? Yeah! My goodness. It appears we've caused some problems, chat. What is this cursed page that we've been served up? What has just happened? Why did that work? Well, good. I'm glad you asked, listener. I'm glad you asked. Just in case you couldn't see, here is what I put in to the web application. This %20 is URL encoded space. URL encoded space. This is what I typed into the web application. Okay? So, what has this done? Well, let's take this and let's put it right here in this user input and see what our query ends up looking like. So now, we see that our input is very likely just being slapped onto the end. Slapped onto the end of this SQL query. So what does the SQL, so what have we done here, chat? If we just put ID equals 1, so what this is going to do is it's going to choose the columns name, cost, and it's going to return data from the name column, the cost column, and the quantity column in the packages table where the ID column equals 1. Okay? So imagine a big Excel spreadsheet, because that's basically what a database is. Imagine a big Excel spreadsheet where the first column is the ID, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have these other columns, name, cost, quantity. Basically, the database is going to search every column for for the column where the ID value is equal to 1, and then it's going to return these other the values from these other columns. Does that make sense? You mean a Google sheet? Yeah, like, whatever. A spreadsheet, whatever you want to call it. And that's how the website is working normally. No problems yet. But when we put some other data in here, now what does the query say? Now we've actually disrupted the query itself. We haven't just put in an ID value here. We've put in an ID value, and then we've added on more query to the end with this OR. So now what it says is, select name, cost, and quantity from packages where ID equals 1 or 1 is equal to 1. Hey, chat. How often is 1 equal to 1? How often is 1 equal? Always. 1 is always equal to 1. 1 is always equal to 1. So what this is likely to do, it depends on the nature of the database and the query itself that's being made. What this is likely to do is return the very first entry in the database. It's likely that that's why this is returning -1. My guess is that there's an entry in the database. It doesn't, oh yeah, it doesn't like hyphens. What this is likely to do is it's returning some kind of, the first entry in the database is probably not, is probably has some test values like negatives in there or something. Why do we need to put pound at the end? Good question. What is this pound? This pound is a comment. It is a comment. So basically, it's preventing the database from it's commenting out everything after our injection here. It's commenting out everything after our injection. This is just to make sure that we don't have to contend with any order by or limit statements or anything that might be tacked on to the end. We might not even need this. Let's just try removing it and see if it does. We load the same page. We load the same page if we do the comment versus not do the comment. So this comment's not actually necessary, and that's because it's very likely that we're just appending data to the end of a SQL string. Because pound in a URL doesn't get sent. Okay, well maybe if I let me URL encode it then and see what happens. Let me URL encode it then. So if we can also do this in burp repeater.
A hunter must hunt.
Okay, it gives a 400 bad request if you do that. So, yeah, Tiberius is probably correct that it's not parsing this pound because pound symbols are used for something different. You have spaces. Yeah, but those are getting URL encoded. Oh, yeah, that would explain it. Yeah, those are getting URL encoded in the browser, but I wasn't paying attention. There you go. We'll try that. Oh, now it says you have an error in your SQL syntax. Oh, but it gives us the you didn't say the magic word. It gives us the you didn't say the magic word thing. But you notice that we also get you have an error in your SQL syntax. And we'll get that for the single quote as well, I'm sure. Yep, same thing. Same thing. So, what is happening here? Well, what's happened here is we've put a single quote. We're URL encoding. Some characters aren't supposed to be handled in a URL, so you have to encode them in a certain way. But let's imagine that we put a semicolon in there. This is just this single quote or apostrophe is not accompanied by another apostrophe. Basically, this is how you would denote a string. Sample string in SQL. Okay, you would have one single quote and one single quote on the other end. If you just have one single quote, you've started a string but didn't terminate it. So MySQL is going to return a error. It almost looks like the pound isn't working as comment at all. Yeah, it depends on... MySQL sometimes accepts a pound symbol and sometimes it doesn't. The hyphen is being filtered though. If we do the hyphen here, this is being filtered. See? We get an error in the SQL syntax. But we get the you didn't say the magic word business. So the hyphen is being filtered. But it looks like we don't even need a comment. I think we're just appending to the end of this SQL query, so it's probably going to work. So what we can do here is we can modify this query in some ways that allow us to extract information from the database that we shouldn't be able to get. Does that make sense? We can, because the database is not properly sanitizing user input, in an ideal world, this database would not just be sanitizing single quotes and things like that. The database would be making sure you just put a single integer in here and that's it. Like, if this is anything other than just an integer, it shouldn't return anything. That would be proper input sanitization. But in this case, it's not doing that. So we can try 1 union select 1. Let's try that. And let's do it in the browser because it's a little bit more visually interesting there. Union select 1. Ah! What is this? Very interesting. So now we're getting a different error. Now we're getting a different error. So what this is occurring... This is occurring because when you have a union statement allows us to kind of join two select statements together. Okay? This is a select statement. This is a select statement. We're just joining them together with a union statement. Pretty easy. But one little nuance about union statements is that they have to be requesting the same number of columns. So if this is requesting 3 columns, this also must be requesting 3 columns. So does the union put you at the root of the database? No, you'll be in the same table. But you can refer to other tables in the same database. Shin Ryzen, my goodness. 5 new cult initiates. That's so kind of you. Mortimus, Zitcan, Jelly, Gherkin Hobel, and Ant-Man 1. Welcome to the All Has Red team. Teddington, thank you so much for those 100 Tiggle biddies. Zero Kieran bringing listener into the cult. Welcome, listener. Good to have you. Silver Louie with the first time Prime indoctrination into the cult. Welcome. Poi Poi with the first time Prime indoctrination. Thank you so much to both of you. Welcome to the All Has Red team. Thanks for supporting the stream. Morpheus, Dr. Hage, Dark Phoenix, Polysaccharide Poppy, Spartanger, P. Kuko, Nykyrian, Silver Louie, Band Voice, Marks 3 Azzy, Plants from Outer Space, It's Ahmed, Plutonic Silver, and Endeavor. Thank you for the follows. Cthulhu Fountain to you, my friend. And Zato1 with the 2-month Prime indoctrination. Welcome back to the All Has Red team, my friend. Thank you, everyone, for supporting the stream so much. Thanks so much for just being here. If you choose to subscribe, I'm endlessly grateful to you. But just being here is support enough. So do people understand where we're at now? Very generous community? Hey. People love brain wrinkles, okay? We're all about learning and positivity here. Except when we're talking about cryptocurrency. Then it's all FUD. We FUD so hard. So much FUD, chat. Alrighty. So, we need to determine how many columns we are dealing with. Now, in this example query, I put 3 columns. I don't actually know if that was the truth. Okay? It was purely a guess. Purely a guess. Okay? So, let's try union select 1, 2. Use select statements have a different number of columns. We're just going to keep adding columns to the end here. So it looks like there's more than 3 columns until we get it to return a value that's favorable to us. My goodness. My goodness. It seems we've requested 5 columns in our union statement, Name, cost, quantity, description. Let's see, what else? Price is probably one of the columns, but that's cost. Quantity is probably one. And this is the description. Quantity, price, name, and then ID. The first column is ID. Probably. We don't actually know what the names are. We can enumerate those. We can find out. From packages where ID equals 1. And now there are 5 columns on the left side of this union statement. And 5 columns on the right. So now we see that the page returns and it gives us some weird output. It gives us some strange output here, chat. Why are we getting these weird numbers in here? Why are we getting all these numbers in here? You have to select all columns together for the statement to be valid? Yeah, we have to select the same number of columns on in our union statement. Yeah, it's because of the union statement. It's because we put those integers into the union statement. And this will vary depending on the database. This will vary depending on the database or and the web application. Sometimes you won't be able to get output directly from the database, but an injection will nevertheless exist. But in this case, we're seeing that we are able to union select some stuff, and that union selection actually appears on the page. So what if we request some information from the database? Like, how about let's request... Let's put it right there in the 2. How about instead of the 2, we ask for, oh, I don't know, at version. What's that going to do, chat? What's that going to do we think? Okay, well, it looks like they're catching us on the it looks like it looks like they're catching us on that. As in it's being filtered. So we're running into a bit of a WAF here, but it's not the end of the world. I wonder if we'll get output if I send it in burp. Oh yeah, I forgot the URL encode again. We have an error in our SQL syntax. Okay, so the point is that these @ symbols are being commented out. It might be the @ symbols. It might be the @ symbols, and it might be the version string. And I think it's at this point I'm going to need a little bit of a SQL cheat sheet. Does Hack Tools have one? I think I've seen that it has a SQL injection cheat sheet. I usually have to look up a cheat sheet for SQL injection. Here we go, SQL injection. All right, so getting the version union select banner from version. Let's try that. We don't need the comment. You have an error in your SQL syntax. That's for Oracle, is it? Yeah, there are many different kinds of databases. We're dealing with MySQL here. We want to make sure our payloads are tailored towards MySQL. Oh, it does list. It does say Oracle. It does say I'm just not paying attention. So, we tried to get the database version. This should have returned the database version. In this case, it's being caught by... Can I get the database name? Let's just open up a new page here. And let's do MySQL injection cheat sheet. I actually end up when I find squeal injections, as we call them, I most often find them in MS-SQL databases. Not because MS-SQL is more vulnerable or anything to this kind of thing. It's because most of my clients use MS-SQL. Looks like database open close parentheses. We'll get the name of the database. Let's see if that's being filtered. Database 345. Mr. Streamer, what? You have union select twice. Oh, I do have union select twice. You're absolutely correct. Sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. Oh, there we go. There we go. So that was allowed. So the database one was allowed. So Park. So the database name is Park. We can try version, open close parentheses. Oh, and that it works. Of course it does. Of course it does. Tiberius just has to come in here and correct my SQL injection. Stupid Tiberius. Good at SQL injection and stuff. Anyway, so now we're getting... This is the MySQL version. This is the version of MySQL that we're dealing with. And I understand that much like the Ubuntu debacle from earlier,
Happy Newbie Tuesday.
Every single time I say squeal, I'm pronouncing it a different way.
Enough, I am
Again,
also
this is
on
just
squeal injection. Unfortunately, it's blind and with MS-SQL. Please shoot me now.
We'll get to that in a second here, Jifram. Yes. Let me address that here in a second. I understand that we're running into kind of a similar situation as with the Ubuntu debacle. Like where nobody actually knows it. Everyone pronounces it differently. Okay? So if you want to know what the correct way to pronounce SQL is, it's however your boss pronounces it. That is the correct way to pronounce it. On this stream, the correct way to pronounce it is squeal. SexQL. Yeah. So now we've seen, basically, we can see that we can inject into these fields. Okay? So what do we want to do now? We can extract information from the database. What can we do now? Well, what we can do now is going to depend heavily on the kind of database that we're injecting into. In this case, the database is MySQL. Which is a common open source database that you see on Linux a lot of the time. Okay? One thing, some nuances to MySQL injections are that are things like stacked queries. What is a stacked query, chat? A stacked query is if let's just go back to the normal query here, where ID equals 1. Let's say I just put... You see how that SQL queries have to be terminated with a semicolon here? A stacked query would be if I just put if I injected a semicolon and just put an entirely different query in there. So we've essentially just tacked on a whole different query onto the end of this first query. This is called a stacked query. Okay? Exactly. Zero Kieran. Little Bobby tables, we call this. Little Bobby tables. How do we get the names of the columns? We're about to get that. We're gonna address that. Don't worry. You're getting ahead of me a little bit. Again, this is Newbie Tuesday, so I'm taking my time with it a little bit, making sure that people understand what's going on here. MySQL does not support stacked queries. Okay, so you cannot do stacked queries in MySQL. But many other databases do support stacked queries, including MS SQL, Microsoft SQL Server will support stacked queries. PostgreSQL, which Metasploit uses, also allows stacked queries. I don't remember if Oracle supports it. To truth be told, I don't see Oracle databases very often in real life. The most common database I see by far in real life is MS SQL, closely followed by variations of MySQL. MySQL and MariaDB are both quite common as well. I've seen MongoDB before in real life, and I've seen CouchDB before in real life. Those are different, though. We're not going to go into those. In this case, we have to know that MySQL does not support stacked queries. Similarly, MySQL also does not support code execution directly. What do I mean by that? I mean that in a database like MS SQL, Microsoft SQL Server has built-in functionality for executing operating system level commands. Executing operating system commands inside of the SQL Server. It's called xpcmd shell. So using oftentimes with MS SQL, you can leverage xpcmd shell to get code execution directly from there, contingent on a few things. Postgres also has ways to natively execute code inside of MySQL. Only if MySQL is vulnerable to UDF can you get code execution. Untrue. Untrue, sick in the mind. That is untrue, sir. It is possible to get code execution in other ways, which we likely will be exploring right here on this stream. You just have to, because it's MySQL, you have to take a somewhat more roundabout route. For example, why don't we try, instead of version, let's try load file. I don't think you have to do these directory traversal things, but we're going to try it anyways. Okay, it looks like it... Oh, it's the single quotes. I forgot it doesn't like the single quotes. It does not like the single quotes. So we might not be able to use load file just because I believe that the argument... we could try double quotes. That is true. Let's try double quotes instead. Okay, well that loaded the page. But we don't get anything. I wonder if this is just too much data. Interesting. Try without the... Yeah, I tried it without the... Hi, honey. Hi, sweetie. Come here. Oh, I see. You came within arm's reach. You got it. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Do you have anything to say to the stream? Any wisdom? Hi, honey. Can you take your paw off my face? Thank you. Now you're my favorite streamer. Yeah, Star is the true star of the show. I know, you're very cute. Yes, you are. Yo, go ahead. Star is like, please stop, human. Yes. She came within arm's reach. She deserved it. So var www html. I don't think we have to do path traversal in here. Item.php maybe? We still don't get it. Maybe park? Item.php? I don't know what the file structure is like. Usually Etsy passwd is a good choice. But we're not getting any SQL errors. As a relative path, I don't know if it needs to be. I can't remember if it needs to be a relative path or not, honestly. Was it item.php? It does not need to be relative. I didn't think it did. But we're not loading it anyways. I don't really know why it's not loading it. There could be any number of reasons. It could be that it could be we don't have the proper permissions. It could definitely be that we do not have the proper permissions to load file. You need to have the file permission. You need to have the file permission in MySQL in order to do that, and it's possible that the web server does not have the file permission. We can see what the user is. How do we find out what our current user is? Select user. Go figure. User. Let's see if we're a database administrator. Okay, we're just root. So that's not the problem. He'll never see my try Etsy hostname. Okay, I'll try Etsy hostname. We are root. Maybe it doesn't like the double quotes. Could it be it doesn't like the double quotes and it really just wants the single quotes? It could be it just really wants those single quotes. What are you doing? You get over here! Hey! I like to do that every once in a while and just randomly chase after her. Missing second single quote? I took both of the single quotes away just to see what would happen. I'm not really sure why it's not loading the file, but whatever. We'll play with what we get. We'll play with what we get, okay? Okay. So what we want to do is we want to enumerate... we want to find out what other tables are in this database. So, we can go down here. We want to list tables. Okay, so here's what we're actually putting in here. Let's see what the query is actually going to look like. Union, select, because this is going to be a little bit more complicated. I don't think one is being displayed on the page, so we want to do one, table schema, table name, and then 4, and then 5 from information schema.tables, where table schema does not equal MySQL and table schema does not equal information schema. So we're going to, so here's what we're doing. All right. We are selecting table schema and table name from information schema.tables. This is a different database. That's why you have to do put the dot here. The tables table is in the information schema database. The information schema database contains metadata, as in information about the rest of the MySQL database inside of it. So we're going to query that database to find out information about the database we're currently in. We are seeing these single quotes in here. I think I'm just going to strip off this where statement. Because we are seeing those single quotes, and I just don't want to deal with those. So let's put this into the browser. Ah! So we get some things, but unfortunately, we can only list one of them. Let's see. Sys is the table schema, and the table name is weights global by latency. So we can't get, according to TryHackMe, this is a hard box, which is fine, but for Newbie Tuesday, I think this is a fairly basic SQL injection that we can work with. Okay? I think this is a fairly it's listing schema for all. Yes, I understand that. Thank you. So what we can tack on here is we can order by. Order by 1. Is there a better way to, like, list tables? Yeah, we can group concat. That's better. Yeah, group concat's better. So group concat will tack a whole bunch of these together. Maybe that'll be better. Incompatible with SQL mode. Only full group by. So it looks like there's a setting that's preventing me from doing that. Let's just do... Yeah, you need a group by. So what do I need to put in the group by? Is it like what? Group by what? I'm not familiar with group bys. Just group by table name? Expression number 2 of select list is not in group by clause. And contains... so we can just remove this then. It's not in group by, so we can just remove... Yeah, we still don't get the whole thing. We can... Can we view page source? Maybe it's all listed in the HTML. Sad. So we're still getting... We're still not getting all the table names. It's only displaying a certain... Maybe we put it in the description. We put it in the description. That's where it should go. Let's put it in where the 4 goes. Because there's more room there. Okay, I was wrong. Group concat table name. There's got to be a better way to extract these table names. Maybe in position 5. I mean, we can try position 5, but... Position 5 is just this number here. Like, I thought the description would have more space. I thought the group concat does not appear to be actually concating. I'm not... Group concat, table schema, table name. What does that do for me? I mean, I just want to see the names first. Let's do group concat, table schema. Schema. We get sys, 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 sys. So that did not give us anything. I typoed. The group by needs to be table schema if you do group compat. Why, though? Well, this is different. So these are... we're in the park. This is the park database, isn't it? Is park a table name? Yeah, I know that there's hundreds of built-in tables. That's why this default... or this one here... tries to filter out the ones that aren't relevant. Maybe we can just get the ones from the park database. Just the ones from the park database here. Yeah, I... Where table schema equals park. Let's do... You need the from? What from? What are you talking about? You need the from. What do you mean you need the from? There's no from in this. Oh, from information schema. Okay, yeah. From information schema. I deleted it all by accident. Okay, did this give us anything? Okay, we have something here. Okay, good one. So we grouped by a table schema. We can do... It has a whole bunch. Where? The problem we're going to have here is getting a string. Well, it didn't return an error. Items and users. Okay. All right. Now we're making progress.
It's a Unix system. I know this. It's
okay.
all the files of the whole park. It tells you everything.
Okay. It's a Unix system. We know this. So we're in the items table here. And we want the users table. Because what does users table often have, chat? Why are we particularly interested in the users table? Yes! Credentials!
That fine addition to my addition to my collection.
We want credentials. Okay? Sweet hashes? Oh, you're giving this potential. You're giving Jurassic Park far too much credit if you think there are going to be hashes in here, my friend. You're giving them far too much credit. All right, so I want to know what... now we need to find out... We're interested in the user's database. And let's see what columns there are. We can just modify our query here a little bit. I'll put it here so you guys can see it. So group concat table name, and then we're going to group by table schema. I hate SQL syntax. Why does this make... This doesn't make any fucking sense. But whatever. I've used group concat before. That's not a problem. I've never had to do this group by statement with it, though, but whatever. Group concat, we want to change this to column name from information schema.columns, where table underscore name equals park. I guess maybe we can group by table schema again. We'll see if it works. We're just going to try it. That did not work like I'd hoped. Oh, it's equal users? What did I do? Oh, we're... from information schema.columns, where table name equals users. You're right. Users. It's the Park database. There we go. So these are the column names. We have user, current collections and connections, and total connections. That is not what I expected. It occurs you should always store creds in plain text. I read it on the internet. I mean, Facebook considers plain text creds the best creds. So, and you should always trust Facebook. I expected there to be a password. A password column here or something. Where table name equals users. It still needs this group by, doesn't it? Oh, it didn't error out. Oh, there you go. We just didn't need the group by. The group by is fucking it all up. Here we go. So now we have password. Golly, that seems good, doesn't it? That seems nice. We have username and password. So let's do union select group concat username and then group concat password.
A hunter must hunt.
From... We don't even need all this. We just need users. From users. Oh. Does it not like the word password? No? What did I mess up? It's not flagging on password. Oh, yeah, park.users does it need? I don't think we're not getting a SQL error. We're just getting Yeah.
Please! God damn it! Hate this hacker crap. Phone it.
Does it not like username? It's username it doesn't like. Interesting. So the column username, so the word username is not being... Okay, don't at me and I hate dinos. Again. Whoever said we were going to find hashes was giving this way too much credit. Oh wait, that's the wrong one.
God damn it! Hate
The fine addition to my collection.
Yeah, so we have some credentials here, but we don't know the usernames. So we're going to have to... It's flagging on the word username. So we're going to have to, like, try and obfuscate that word. Because obviously we need to know what the usernames are. So we can... Can we concat? String concatenation? What the hell am I hearing here? Why is this in the StarCraft soundtrack? Okay, so let's try concat. Concat. Use plus her name. Let's see if that does it. Looks like it just selected the string. It's a comma. Does it want a comma? It does want a comma. I mean, it seemed to actually work with a plus sign. Yeah, it's still just assuming this is a string and not a column name. You can avoid quotes. That's still a string. Try unhex. Why would this work and not concat? Why would unhex and not concat work? I mean, we'll try it just for science, but I'm not confident. Yeah, see, it's just selecting a string. It's not interpreting the string as the name of a column. Wrap it with group concat. I don't see why that gets me anything. That does not seem to have accomplished anything. Oh, you were saying that 2 times group concat? I don't think so. I just did... Tiberius, I just did that! I literally just did that! And it gave the same... I didn't see you use backticks. I didn't use backticks. I just didn't notice them. Well, I noticed them, but I thought they were just like quotes. Cat. Yeah, it doesn't like that. It does not like it does give us a different error, but it doesn't seem to be, it does not seem to be interpreting this. It does not seem to... Subterminal! Subterminal! I will turn this stream around. Listen, Subterminal. It isn't easy dealing with filters. It is not easy dealing with filters in your SQL injections. We're figuring it out. That does not seem to work. Yes, finally live malding. I mauled alive all the time, my dude. There's got to be a way to get these damn... There's got to be a way to get these damn usernames. We're trying... The problem is we can get the word username past the... We can get the word username past the filter, but it's not being interpreted as a column name. It's just being interpreted as a string. Drop password from the current group, concat, and add username. It's not going to make any difference. Username is that's not the problem. I wonder if I could just do... Okay, I didn't think it would work. It was worth a shot, though. Damn it. There's got to be a way. Okay, I don't want to read a giant PDF document. I have failed OSCP exam for the third time. Johann Frisk, you're in good company. You're in good company, my dude. A lot of people fail the OSCP exam many times. I've known professional pen testers who have failed the OSCP exam 4 times or more. Like super, super common. Oh yeah, the maybe the comment trick. No. Sometimes you can add like these are you can add comments here, or block comments. You have a mauled? I always have a mauled. Who's... Jifferam! I just molded Subterminal. Do you want some too, Jifferam? Because that's what your mom said last night. And I was more than happy to give it. And I'll give it to her again after this stream is over. So sit down and shut up. Jifferam. God damn it. There's got to be some way. Because I don't just want to start brute forcing usernames here. I don't just want to start brute forcing usernames here. Did the table have a total of 5 columns? Yeah, there's 5 columns on the other side of the SQL statement. So we are injecting 5 columns over here. The problem is that I cannot get it to interpret username as a database name and not a string. What if the WAF filters look for specific strings rather than SQL keywords? Oh, it could be case sensitive. What if we do something like... We can do like sarcastic username. Nope. You can do things to reference the table or column name from the schema instead of supplying the actual name. So how would I do that? Okay, so it would look like... SQL injection. Reference column name from schema. Are there reference numbers? I don't know. I'm not like some kind of super good SQL injector. Even if I was, there's a lot of different kinds of SQL injections. Access information related to columns. Maybe the username is elsewhere. I don't want to start just brute forcing. Like, obviously the answer could be just to guess usernames that are based on Jurassic Park, but that just seems boring to me. It seems boring to just... It seems like a cop-out. I'd like to try and get the usernames if I can, and this is proving to be much more irritating than I thought it was going to be. What were the names you found already? We don't have any usernames yet. Like, we can extrapolate users based on the fact that this is a Jurassic Park. But we can extrapolate it based on the fact this is a Jurassic Park thing. But work either. This is not gonna work. Can't do a select. Yeah, I figured that out. I already tried it. God damn it. Oh, it's the single quote. That's not, it doesn't matter. It's not going to work anyways. I hate this filter so much. There's gotta be... It's just interpreting it as a string. Try double quotes. Yeah, double quotes works. It's not the fact that, like, we can get a, like, I can put the string Cthulhu fhtagn in here. That's not the problem. The problem is that this is not, we need this to not be a string. We need it to be interpreted not as a string, but as the username. We need to, but as a column name. And I'm not sure how to get that to work. From my Googling, doesn't look like dynamically fetching column names using strings is possible in MySQL. I mean, we got the passwords. The passwords is not the issue. We have the passwords. For whatever reason, passwords is allowed. I mean, sure, I'll give that a shot, Polar's Bear. I'm open to whatever you got. Yep. It looks like it's getting automatically resolved to username. Oh, that's, yeah, because it's URL encoded. Yeah, correct. It's not going to help if we put the username after the password. I don't suppose we can do like user star. No. I don't know, guys. I think we're just gonna have to move on this and just guess what the username is. What do you guys think? I mean, again, we can guess usernames based on the names of the characters in Jurassic Park. Tell you what, let's try throwing SQL map at it. He's daring us to use SQL map, so let's use SQL map. Doesn't hurt to show you the easy way to do SQL injection. We know it's a MySQL database. So we're giving it the URL to test. And then we're telling it to test all different possibilities of SQL that it can think of. It looks like Bash might have put this in single quotes. I hope the box didn't just go down on me. Nope. We had 15 more minutes. Not even close, baby. Well, let's see if SQL map works. So SQL map is an automated SQL injection exploiter. It is banned on OSCP because it's real good. So we're trying it out. We're going to see if it... you will use it on real assessments quite a bit, so we're trying it out. I think this one was designed... Well, we're trying it out. It looks like the website might just not be responding. Or it's... You know what's happening? It's getting Dennis Nedry here. Yeah, so this is what's happening. It's not gonna... It's probably just gonna take a long-ass fucking time. I bet you it'll work. It's just gonna take a long-ass fucking time. Well, this character's name is Dennis. What was Samuel L. Jackson's character's name? WAF too good? It's not that the WAF is too good. We can bypass it. I just can't get MySQL to resolve a fucking column name. Did he have a name? He had to have had a name. Hold on to your butts. Hold on to your butts. Yeah, probably. God damn it. I'm still dedicated to the idea that there has to be a way to get it to fucking give us the goddamn usernames. No, I'm just trying to look at... We got those weird... Did we try ID 0? I know results found. We got those weird results for -1. Oh, that's the hyphen is going to cause a problem with those. Like there's ID 4. We can try ID 5. Oh, this returns something. Oh, well, here you go. This is our WAF. So, this apparently is... No, like, so... Here's a hot tip. If you're building a theme park of live dinosaurs, you can afford to use AOL Instant Messenger instead of sending each other messages in the database. Like, why are we sending each other messages in the database? Like, do we not They don't have AOL Instant Messenger. Well, now I want to check. Is there 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it looks like that's the only thing. 10. Okay, so we had that. That's supposed to tell us what's being filtered on, but it also gives us a username. Let's just try that. Okay, what were the passwords it gave us? Because I don't remember. I put it here. I hate dinos sounds like Dennis's thing, right?
Please! God damn it! Hate this hacker crap.
I mean, yeah,
Hacker man.
I'm in, but I really wanted to figure out how to get it to show us the usernames. Okay? We're in, though. What means the letters WAF? Web Application Firewall. Okay. Okay, what is... Grab the usernames is doable from select... So we have a parentheses? Okay, wait a minute. You're gonna have to type out that whole thing, Rykard. Type out that whole thing, Rykard. No, group select. Okay, that is complicated. But we'll give it a shot. Maybe Rykard is the big brain in chat today. Union select. No. Group concat. What is this for, though? I don't know what that's for. I didn't even know you could nest queries like this. Yeah, that did not... Every derived table must have its own alias. Oh, the separator defines how to... Okay. Thanks, I almost forgot why I hate SQL. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I see that, but I'm getting an error where it says every derived table must have its own alias. Nice! Rykard's the wrinkly brains in chat for Rykard. Traitor Rykard coming in here. Now we will devour the gods together. Yeah, there you go. Like, Praetor Rykard in here. This is big brain Praetor Rykard in here. Nice job, Rykard. That's new to me. I did not even know. But is it easy box? It's not an easy box. It's rated hard. But manual SQL injection is really, it's good to watch. It's good to watch to learn how SQL injection works, so you don't just get dependent on SQL math. So basically, that query allows you to use union with star with a different number of columns. So what is this 2 for? Oh, so this is column 2 of this query. God, this is such a mess, dude. Rykard, were you like a SQL database engineer or some crap? Yeah, so this 2 is referring to column 2 in this nested query. I didn't even know you could nest queries inside of here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Nice job, Rykard. Nice. One must first become... Maybe the true SQL injection was the friend we made along the... was the friends we made along the way, Rykard. Okay? Maybe the maybe that is the case. Was Harry Samuel L. Jackson's character in that movie? I have to find out now. Because there's another... I don't remember a character named Harry. Ray Arnold. No. So who the fuck was Harry? Who the fuck was Harry? Now I have to know. What the fuck is Harry? Of course we get Harry Potter and Jurassic Park crossover. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so... Oh, Harry Wu... Oh, Henry Wu. This is the Korean guy who explains why the Hitler dinosaur had to be able to turn invisible and be super smart in Jurassic World. Okay. Well, now here we are as Dennis. Okay, there you go. That would explain it. Okay, so now we're in as Dennis. Okay, we're in as Dennis. We get flag1.text. So there's flag 1, but what about the rest? Yippee. So the first thing we're going to do, as you should do, if you're logged in as a genuine user on the machine, the first thing you should probably do is see if you have sudo permissions. So we see user Dennis may run the following commands on whatever this is, this long-ass host name. And it appears that we can run scp as root. So we can go on over to our old friend GTFOBins. GTFOBins is a compendium of Linux binaries that can be used for privilege escalation should they be given too many permissions. And let's just see if SCP is in there. And it turns out it is. So it turns out we can exploit if we can sudo. If the binary is allowed to run as superuser by sudo, it does not drop the elevated permissions. It may be used to access the file system, escalate, or maintain privilege access. And the nice thing about GTFOBins is it'll give us the exploitation steps here. Okay? So here we see the first thing it's doing is it's making a temporary directory. The mictemp directory makes a new randomly named directory inside of /temp, and then we're saving the name of that file to a variable called tf. Next, we are executing. We're putting a shell script into that temporary file, and then we're going to chmod +x. We're going to make it executable, and then we're going to have SCP execute that for us. Easy fucking peasy. So we can just copy and paste each of these. Okay. Chmod plus X. So we're making it executable. Now we're going to do SCP TAC capital S. What is SCP TAC capital S? Let me find out. I don't know what the TAC capital S option does. Name of program to use for the encrypted connection. The program must understand SSH options. So it'll just execute an arbitrary program for us. And looky there. We're root. That's such a dumb option. It's incredibly dumb, yes. Feature, not bug, okay? Feature, not bug. So, just like that, we have escalated to root. There's 5 other flags? Well, now we gotta find the other flags. There was also like a test.sh in Dennis's home directory. Yeah, test.sh. What is this? Cat root flag.txt. This looks like the box creator. This looks like the box creator testing out their privilege escalation. We also have bash history. So, yeah. So we can see the... So this is why usually in these CTFs, the bash history will be usually piped to dev null or symlinked to dev null to prevent it from storing the entire history of the person setting up the box. So here we're seeing all the commands that the box creator made. That the box creator made to set up the machine and to test it. So it looks like there is... Are there any other flags on this machine? Oh, I forgot the second quote. God damn it. Okay, so it found the one in root, or in /root, and it looks like it did not find any other flags. This box may have been made originally for like VulnHub or something and would have had more flags then, but here there just seems to be a flag in Dennis and a flag on root. Either that or it's a troll, which it may well be. Oh, there is flag 2 in boot grub fonts. So there's a flag 2. Is this a network with other hosts? Nope, this is the only host on this machine. Let me see if those are the only flags. There is no fourth... what are the contents of the third flag? We found the second flag. Where's the third flag? Let's go cd var www. Let's see if there's anything in the... Are there any flags in here? Wubba lubba dub dub. Flag 3 in Bash history. Was it in Bash history?
What are you doing?
Shut up!
Bro.
Wait, I'm trying to find the flags. What do you want? Stop, what are you doing step rowing me? I don't see flag 3, chat. Bash history's first line? Okay, well. Fine then. Fine. You may what are you doing step row me. So what ended up being the issue with the SQLi? The issue was we couldn't get the username column name. The username column name was not allowed. Or the username string was not allowed in the SQL injection, but we couldn't get it. We couldn't get even through concat or hex encoding. We couldn't get it to interpret it as a column name and not a string. To actually show us the contents of the username directory. We got there eventually with Prater Rykard came into chat and gave us this guy, where he nested a query in here. And then just got the contents of column 2. Which was clever. Help me, step flag, I'm stuck. Shut up, Husky. Stupid Husky. Coming in here. Let's do Stream Raiders really quick. Nice beard and mustache. It's not really. Like, I have, like, I have a stupid patch on my right cheekbone that never goes away. But thank you. I heard you like a... Yeah, exactly. I heard you like a query in your query. So we squealed in your SQL. But we did get it there. We did get there. I learned something about squeal injection today. Client enjoyed that SolarWinds domain privask? Well, yeah, clients always enjoy it when they're paying you for a very expensive service and you deliver good value. In this case, I delivered them good value, so yeah, I'd say they were happy about it. I'm not actually done. I'm doing the reporting now. Did you find flag 4? There is no flag 4 according to the page. According to the TryHackMe challenge itself, there is no flag 4 for some reason. All right. Well, unfortunately, like we got kind of nudged up on 3 hours there, so I'm gonna hang out. Well, let's just do a Q&A session. Let's just do a little bit of a Q&A. Let me get caught up on Chad B. New bringing the Legger into the cult. Welcome, the Legger. Welcome to the All Has Red team. Thank you so much, Chad. Everyone, give Chad strong vibes because he started his OSCP this week. Big dick Chad starting his OSCP. Give him strong vibes. He can do it. I believe in him. He's got this shit. Go, Chad. You've got it. YOLO Swaggins 69, nice. Octavius Bonk Bink, Exotic Man, Cybergon, and PBNJ Dev. Thank you for the follow. Cthulhu Fountain to all of you. Jiffaram with the 69, nice. Take old biddies. I'm also working on squeal injection. Unfortunately, it's blind with MSSQL. Please shoot me now. MSSQL is a pain in the ass to inject into, but if you can inject into it and get XP CMD shell working, then it's code execution, which is nice. All right, let's do a little Q&A. What questions do you guys have about what we covered today? About just general cybersecurity stuff? What questions do you guys have? I'll have to work in my OSCP lab some more. Yeah, get it, Jiffaram. Good. Thanks for being here.
Great
Good luck on that
stream at
squeal
Alpha
injection.
3D off to work on my OS
What did you do before pen testing and red teaming? How did you decide to be a red teamer?
Blind squeal tonight and at least get a shell on the box.
So I took something of a circuitous route into cybersecurity. I was in the Air Force for most of my career, and I was initially a pilot in the Air Force, and then I switched over to cyber warfare, and I was actually a threat hunter for a few years before leaving the Air Force and then becoming a software developer for a year, and then I switched gears into being a red teamer. Into being a generalized pen tester and then a red teamer. Aim high, yeah. Is that the Air Force's motto right now? They keep changing it. I don't know. Do you like SQL? I do not. Did you mauled hard today? I definitely did. Try Hack Me or Hack the Box Academy. Try Hack Me because it's cheaper. Thank you for your serve. Oh, that's nice of you, Teddington. Thank you. I'm out now, though. Yeah, I'm out now. How old are you? I'm 32. What do you think distinguishes the legendary hacker from the common hacker? Persistence. As the saying goes, the master has tried more than the beginner has... the master has failed more than the beginner has tried. Or more than the novice has tried. It's what distinguishes you from being being truly great is the willingness to push through all the failures to get to the successes. You need a lot of persistence in this field. You just do. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm 33. I did not lie about my age. I just turned 33 a couple of months ago, and I just misspoke. And now Helen of Tor is spamming text messages at me, telling me I lied about my age. It's fun to be in a relationship with her. She's great. She's excellent. I feel catfished. You've not been catfished. If you feel catfished, you're wrong. Okay? Could I DM you for advice and tips for CRTO? Absolutely, Mr. Robot. Reach out anytime. Reach out anytime, Mr. Robot. Preferably on Discord. That's what I monitor the most. What did you fly? I just flew trainers. I was an instructor pilot. I was trying to be a fighter pilot. And the best way to become a fighter pilot is to put in a few, because there's only a few fighters to go around. So the best way to get fighters is often to put in some time as an instructor pilot first, and then you get your choice of airframe, essentially. I was trying to get the fighters, but I quit before I got there. I stopped being a pilot when I was 20... It was in 2013 that I made the switch. How old? I can't do basic math. What, 20? I was 24. I was 24 when I made the switch. So what you're saying is you're a unicorn? What do you mean by a unicorn? I took a bit of a circuitous, uncommon route into cybersecurity, sure. Are virtual rootkits real? Yes. What kind of keyboard are you using? I'm using a Corsair 98, K98 or something. A Corsair mechanical keyboard. Maverick is out next week. Oh, is Top Gun Maverick coming out next week? I had not noticed. I absolutely had not noticed that Top Gun Maverick was coming out. I 100% know. I'm counting down the days. Like, I'm counting it down, okay? I'm going to an early sneak peek at my local theater. He's going to be insufferable with the Top Gun memeing. As we get closer, there's going to be increasing amounts of Top Gun memeing. Did Tom Cruise really fly a fighter jet in that? No, he did not. Did they secure the rights for Danger Zone? How could they have secured the rights for Top Gun and not Danger Zone? If they don't play Danger Zone during the movie, like, Are you really watching Top Gun? Were you ever stationed at Shepherd? I was not at Shepherd. I was at Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio, Texas. Free Fighter Pilot Al for stream. I was thinking about that. I'm going to go see it on Tuesday of next week. Yeah, Tuesday of next week is the day I'm going to go see it. So you may get a free Fighter Pilot Al that day. Time to buzz the tower. It's not time to bust. It's time to buzz. B-U-Z-Z. Time to buzz the tower. And by the way, fun fact, a real pilot would have instantly lost their wings for that little stunt. Like that part where Maverick blows past the air traffic control tower, and the commander of ATC spills his coffee all over himself, and everybody laughs. Yeah, the real funny part would have been Tom Cruise being court-martialed for that. I'm not joking. The real funny part is how lackadaisical they are with so they radio into the tower and go requesting flyby, which is what you're supposed to do. That's fine. But then the tower radios back and goes, "That's a negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full." If the pattern's full and you did a tower flyby, that's an enormous safety issue. You're with a full pattern, there's no you would have been instantly. I doubt that his wings would have survived that. And then there's later on in one of the training sessions, when they're flying against Viper or Jester. They're flying against Jester. Maverick dips below the hard deck. They call it the hard deck in the Navy. It's really the minimum altitude. It's the altitude you're not supposed to dip beneath for safety reasons. Whenever you're on a flight, you're going to have a minimum altitude of what you're allowed to, where you're allowed to go. And dipping below that altitude is a gargantuan no-no. So he violated another aviation rule. At a bare minimum for that one, he would have been kicked out of the weapons school he was in, which the Top Gun weapons school. Sometimes I catch Al sitting in the dark in his recliner with his helmet on going pew pew pew. You do not. This is slanderous. Absolutely slanderous. I am offended. I have never once done that. I have seriously never once done that. She is completely making that up. She is 100% making that up. What does the pattern mean? Okay, so, oh god, now I gotta explain what VFR and IFR is. Okay, so in VFR flight rules, visual flight rules, it means you're flying by what you can see from the airplane, like you're following ground landmarks on the airplane. It's visual, like you can see things on the ground, and you're flying based on the things you can see. VFR flight rules. In VFR flight rules, you have something called the pattern, which is the normal, it's like a road that planes follow through an airfield. Okay? When planes come in to land via VFR, they're not coming in just willy fucking nilly. There's like a pattern. You have to come in. It's like the highway on-ramp. You're getting on the highway on-ramp, and then you fly around in a big circle around the airfield to line up with, before you finally line up with the runway to land. Does that make sense? It's called the pattern. In instrument flight rules, where it's like nighttime, or maybe there's mist or there's rain, you don't have good visibility of the ground, and you're relying on your cockpit instruments in order to tell where you are and what you're doing. That's called instrument flight rules. There's no pattern there. You'll come in for a different kind of approach. Hey, congrats to your sister. I'm sure you wonder not get quick view sources. She begins her career in journalism. Yeah, my sister is a eco-journalist, or whatever she ends up doing. She's a double major in biology and journalism, and she's graduating next week. And she produced a documentary that her professor says is the best documentary he's ever seen a student create. So that seems like a pretty good start for a journalist. But yeah, my sister went a different way than I did. Dare you to explain Great Circle, why don't planes fly straight? What do you mean by what do you mean by why don't planes fly straight? They do fly straight. Oh, do you mean like, is this like a flat earth debunking thing? Where the flat earthers think that like you push over like the shortest distance? Well, airplanes for the most part maintain a common altitude. While they're flying. Most of the time you're maintaining a common altitude while you fly. So technically you are nosing over a little bit as you go, but you don't notice it because the Earth is really, really big. Did you have a nickname when flying? I did, but I'm not going to tell you what it was. It was not cool like Maverick. Have you played The Witcher 3? I have not. It was dorky. It was dorky, yes. Now we want to know? Of course you're going to want to know. It was not nerfed. Here's the thing, okay? When you get a call sign as an aviator, okay, which you do, okay, that is accurate. But it's never going to be something cool like Maverick or Goose. It's never going to be something cool like that. Ever. You'd be made fun of endlessly if you were named Maverick. You'd be ruthlessly hazed. If your call sign, if you showed up to your unit, if you showed up to your flying unit and you said, hey, my call sign is Maverick, you'd be made fun of ruthlessly. They would absolutely tear into you. Your call sign was almost always something embarrassing. Or something, it's almost always given to you to make fun of you. It's almost always given to you to make fun of you. That's almost always what it is. What was your... I'm not going to tell you, Mr. Robot. Did you ever Naruto run on the runway? No, I did not want to get hit by airplanes. Al was a weeb in the Air Force? I'm a weeb now. Of course I was a weeb in the Air Force. Little Mulder? No, it's not it. It's not it. An example... Oh boy. Should I even tell this story? Here's an example of the kind of thing. Okay, don't do the scoop. Okay, that's exactly the one I'm thinking of. Apparently, I told Helen of Tor. One of the funniest call signs I've met was for a guy named... and this was his actual real-life name. Lycan Persley. His name was Lycan Persley. He's an officer in the Air Force. Or he was. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while. But his name was Lycan Persley, and they called him... And his call sign was Scuba. I can't tell the story without telling you what his name was. Because his call sign is based on his name. So I'll just let you put that one together. His name was Lycan Persley, and his call sign was Scuba. I'll just let you put that one together. Although this is Twitch chat. No one in Twitch chat has ever had sex, so we may never get there. Big Mama Tristana with the 69 nice tickle bitties.
Then you tell us your nickname in the FOs.
I'm not telling you, because then you're only going to use that name. I'm not going to tell you. Thank you so much, Jifram, for 69 nice tickle bitties. I hope you enjoy your OSCP lab tonight. Oh my god, it was not Poppy! It was not Jeff. You're not going to guess it, okay? You're not going to guess it. In fairness, the people who said I was a weeb in the Air Force were correct. It was making fun of the fact that I was a weeb. The call sign particularly was making fun of the fact that I was a weeb. We'll put it that way. It was not Mr. Weeb. No, it was not Mr. Weeb. Okay, okay. We're getting off the beaten path here, okay? Listen, focus. Do we have any actual questions about cybersecurity? And not, or, I mean, you can keep asking questions about piloting too. That's fine. I don't care. Like what the pattern is and stuff like that. Is hard firewall the only sure way to keep threats out? No. Firewalls are only one part of a robust defensive posture. The people deserve to know your call sign. I'm not going to tell you. If I don't make it to DEF CON, no, you have to go to DEF CON, Maticus, if you want the DEF CON flag. If that's the way it says. That's what it says. You got a degree? Yeah, my degree's in biology. Did you ever have to eject? No. Fortunately, I never had to pull the ejection handle. I did have a friend who had to eject once. He had a full-on engine fire. No, actually, I had two friends who had to eject. One of them was in my flight, and one of them was in a different flight. One time, we were doing. One time, the guy in the other flight, there was just a horrendous mishap in the airplane that led to both the student pilot and the instructor pilot ejecting. They were practicing they were doing formation flight, where you fly close to another airplane, and there's a lot of safety issues with flying close to another airplane, as you can imagine, but you have to fly in formation. That's what it's about. Formation flying is actually some of the most fun flying you'll do. It's a really good time. But this guy was doing a mid-air rejoin where he comes up, where one airplane is flying ahead and they're kind of idling at a slow speed, and the other aircraft is coming up behind them, trying to rejoin them and get back into formation after they split apart and did some other stuff. And this is hard to do. This is one reason that pilots need depth perception, meaning you need to be able, with your eyeballs, to be able to tell how far away something is from you. And if it's getting closer to you. Some people don't have great depth perception, and it's a common thing to weed people out. Sometimes people are perfectly healthy and they pass all the physical requirements, but they don't have any depth perception, so they can't fly. One of the reasons you need depth perception is for this reason. So anyway, the student was coming up. He was coming up too fast. He was coming up too fast on this plane in front of him. The instructor pilot saw this and yanked back on the control, yanked back on the engine throttle. And in those two-seater airplanes where the student and the instructor pilot both share controls, there were two throttle handles, one for the student and one for the instructor, and they're both linked together. So if one moves forward or back, the other one will move forward and back. But you can't move it, even if you move the throttle all the way back, it won't turn the engine off. In order to turn the engine off, you have to actually lift up a latch that's underneath the handle. It's hard to point it out unless you're in the airplane. I can show you. But you have to actually lift up a latch that's underneath the handle to pull the throttle all the way back to the idle position. This is key, so that you don't accidentally turn off the engine in flight, which would be a negative thing, for obvious reasons. Anyway, the instructor pilot just yanked the throttle back because the student was going way too fast. And the student, at the exact same time, realized that he was way too fast and went to yank the idle back. But because the instructor pilot was slightly faster, the throttle was pulled back and wasn't where the student thought it was. So the student's hand grabbed onto that latch that we mentioned a second ago instead, and lifted that up instead, and pulled the throttle all the way to off. So they shut down the engine in flight accidentally, and the instructor pilot failed to restart the engine before the minimum ejection altitude. So, yeah, that they both had to eject for that, which sucked. Ejection is very stressful on your body. You don't want to have to eject if you can get away from it. Have you ever seen the canopy come off in flight? Oh, God, no. I don't even want that. In the T-38s, it was too hot on the tarmac. We had to taxi in the T-38s. The T-38s did not have air conditioning in the airplane, which was fine once you get up to altitude because it's fucking cold up there. But on the tarmac, if you're just taxiing for takeoff, you're in 115-degree heat in southern Texas, dude. 115-degree heat. You're fucking melting in that thing. You're in a G suit, you're in a flight suit, which, by the way, that flight suit, though super comfortable, does not breathe. So, it sucks to sweat in that thing. So you had to taxi with the canopy up, but no, I've never had the canopy come off in flight, though we did have a boldface for that. So the plane crashed then, right? Yeah, no, the plane did crash. If you eject, the plane obviously is going to crash. There's nothing to make it fly on its own. Who gets sacked in that scenario? No one. I don't think anyone got sacked. I don't think the student was removed, and I don't think the instructor pilot was punished. It was just kind of a freak accident. It was a freak accident that just happened. I had another friend who was in an airplane which you could not eject from. And he had an engine fire, and I lost a friend that day. So, one of my best friends from college is no longer alive because he was trying to get his commercial pilot's license and was just flying a normal, I think, Cessna aircraft. He was on a check ride and everything. But it was just a Cessna. It didn't have an ejection seat or anything like that. And he experienced an engine fire, and it went down in some field in Nebraska. And I lost a really close friend that day. So, yeah. Yeah, sorry for the Sages. Sorry for the Sages. Feels bad, mans, I know. I mean, you have that. If you're in a dangerous field, it happens. It was several years ago. I've moved on, but he was a really close friend of mine. We were in pilot training together. We were at the academy together. Me and this guy were like this. We were really close. So I took his death harder than most, but that was years ago. I appreciate it though. Yeah, those T-38s. My sister was at Laughlin when they had those series of crashes in those. The T-38s are like lawn darts. It's amazing to me that those are even actually fly. The wings are like this wide. Like the T-38 is such a weird airplane to fly. It's such a bizarre airplane to fly. No air conditioning in the cockpit. Do you have your pilot's license? I did, but I let it lapse because I'm not using it for anything. It's expensive. It's expensive both for you have to pay all kinds of fees. We're talking thousands of dollars in fees. And you have to pay, if you don't own your own airplane, you have to pay all kinds of money to rent an airplane and fly to maintain it because you got to practice. It's not like a driver's license. They force you to actually go up there and practice and prove that you can fly in order to maintain your pilot's license. So I just let it lapse. I'm not using it for anything. Eventually, I'm hoping maybe I can own my own airplane and I don't have to do that anymore. And I can have a pilot's license again. Frackery and Devin, thank you for the follow. Cthulhu fought into you, my friend. Have you seen the French Mirage's weird plane? Yeah, the French like to do their own thing. Those are also shaped like lawn darts. I think most of the French are flying the Eurofighter these days, right? I don't know if the French are still flying a whole lot of the Mirages. I think most of them are flying the Eurofighter. More or less expensive than maintaining a sand cert? A little bit more, because it has to be done more often. It's about the same cost, but needs to be done more often. Yeah, you can absolutely ask programming. You can ask questions on anything. Thinking about taking CRTP, CRTE from PA, or CRTO from 0 Point, what do you think I should go for? Well, in fairness, I took CRTO, and I'm also an affiliate of the CRTO course. So if you were to sign up for CRTO and use my link, I would get a little bit of money for that, for the referral. So I'm a little bit biased towards CRTO. I think CRTO is but legitimately, I think CRTO is some of the best value you can get for your money in this field. The amount of, it costs basically nothing compared to other certs, even offensive security certs. And the amount of value you get as far as the things that you learn and the opportunity to use Cobalt Strike, to use a full Cobalt Strike license in an enclosed environment, that's invaluable. If you want to be a red teamer, I 100% recommend CRTO. It's one of the best bang for your buck certs you can get as far as knowledge for the cost that you're paying. What would you say the knowledge requirements prereqs are for CRTO? I would say you have a general familiarity with pen testing. I'd say ideally you have an OSCP or a similar certification. You don't necessarily need OSCP for CRTO because the material doesn't really overlap. But general familiarity with pen testing principles is sort of assumed by CRTO. So I made a framework for making modules of a specific kind in C#, and I want to offer a web app that one can log in, upload its modules, and work with them. As it stands in this web app, the server's assembly loads the modules directly and works with them. Something that's a major vulnerability. Yes, absolutely. That is a ridiculous vulnerability. How can I sandbox this process? Run it in a Docker container. So, if you can, run that web application inside of a Docker container and make sure that Docker is A, up to date, and B, configured properly so that people cannot escape from the Docker container. I would run it inside of a virtual machine or a Docker container and make sure that the virtual machine is isolated properly from its host. We'll be rating MT Taggart. Well, let's see. Probably Taggart. He's doing attack on Tuesday today. Would PNPT be a good prerequisite? Yeah, PNPT would be good for CRTO. Yeah. I've never taken PNPT, but I'm vaguely familiar with the content, and I think it'd be really good for CRTO. So, okay, so I can spin containers on demand for each run? Yes, you could. You could set it up so that it would spin up an isolated container for a temporary container for every run. A lot of those coding sandboxes that you see online, like online Python interpreters and stuff, will do things like that. They'll run it inside of a Docker container so that if somebody gets code execution, it's not really a big deal because they're just inside of a tiny little Docker container. Is CRTO proctored? No. But that exam is tough. The CRTO exam is hard. I'd say it's fair, as in it covers things that you saw in the course, but it is tough. Can you explain methodology about hacking IIS? You mean IIS, the web server? It's no different from any other web server. It's no different from hacking like Apache or anything like that. Like sometimes IIS will have its own specific like vulnerabilities, like memory vulnerabilities or whatever, but usually it's just the same as hacking any other web app or web stuff. What about CEH? CEH is only good for a box check. It's dog shit otherwise. 100 Tiggle Biddies. Thank you so much, Ghost. Ghost with the 15 months. We're not spraying any kids today, but thank you so much for that 15 months. 10 out of 10, Alhazred would recommend CEH. I would recommend it if you're trying to get a government job. Government jobs put a hilariously high emphasis on CEH for really no reason. CEH is garbage. It's the biggest joke in the industry, and everybody knows it. Have you always been white hat? I don't know what you mean by that question. I'm not. I've been a white hat since I've been ever since I switched from piloting into cybersecurity. I've been doing some manner of cybersecurity job. Let's put it that way. Some cybersecurity job or a job at least tangentially related to cybersecurity. Thoughts on EJPT for a beginner cert? It's great. It's a great beginner cert, especially because the course itself it's free and it is free. It only costs money if you try and take the exam. It's a great beginner cert, and it's starting to get some recognition in the field. So yeah, EJPT is great. Some of the things required for where I work currently is full memes. Some of the operators I work with are fully certed, but when it comes to even hack the box, they flounder hard. Yeah, sure. That's very common. That's pretty common. And it's not, but I'd urge you to not judge a hacker by how much or how well they do various CTFs like TryHackMe or Hack the Box. Because it doesn't necessarily matter. I would say. I would say that the best pen testers I know do CTFs with relative frequency, or they're generally involved in the community in some way that's not just their job. But they don't. I wouldn't necessarily judge a pen tester on whether or not they do hack the box, if that makes sense. Al and I both have CEH. That's how we know it's trash. Yeah, it's real bad. It's not good. They asked me questions about MSF payload. You ever heard of MSF payload, chat? No, because it's been fucking deprecated by MSF Venom for like 11 years. They're asking, not 11 years. No. 10 or 11 years. 10 or 11 years MSF Venom has, since MSF Venom replaced MSF Payload and MSF Encode. But in the old days, in the early days of Metasploit, you didn't have MSF Venom, which is your payload generation tool. You had MSF Payload and MSF Encode. MSF Payload would generate the payload, and then you would run it through MSF Encode to encode it if you needed to. Then they just deprecated both of those tools and made MSF Venom that combines the two. And instead of being asked about MSF Venom, I got asked about MSF Payload. Tools that have basically not existed for like a decade. That's what you're dealing with CEH. Dog shit. Dog shit. Real bad. Catch the exam. There's like spelling errors on the exam and shit, dude. Like, I'm not making this up. When I took the exam, there were like spelling errors on it and shit. It was pathetic. But to be fair, I didn't even take the course. I got my OSCP, and then I just signed up to take the exam, the CEH exam, just to check the box. Because I knew it was important for government jobs, and at that time I was looking at government jobs primarily. And let me tell you, they really don't want you to do that. They really want to try to railroad you into taking one of their stupid fucking courses. So, you have to, like, present proof that you work in the cybersecurity industry or whatever to be allowed to take CEH without taking their goddamn course first. But I did manage to take it. $1,000 to sit the exam. Just to sit the exam was over $1,000. It was more than OSCP. I got 3 months of OSCP lab time and an exam attempt for less than the amount that CEH costs to just sit the exam. To just sit a multiple choice exam that had spelling errors on it, asked me about Nmap Christmas tree scans, and I know what you're going to ask. Mr. Streamer, what's a Christmas tree scan? And my answer is, what the fuck does it matter? Because no one has used a Christmas tree scan in 15 years or more. To answer your question, TCP packets have all these different flags, most of which don't get set ever. They don't get used just because they're not needed like anymore. Like in the early days of the internet, they might have gotten used more. A Christmas tree scan just sets all those flags. That's why you just light up the TCP packet. You just set all of the flags in the TCP packet. Like, that's it. That's all it is. It's fucking worthless. Like, nobody uses these for legitimate operation these days. I see Xmas scan. You're gonna see all kinds of scans. If you're a port exposed to the open internet, you're getting pounded more than Riley Reid. Okay? You're getting absolutely slammed constantly 24/7 by all kinds of port scans from every which way. Okay? Like, you're getting absolutely pounded. So, it doesn't surprise me you still see Christmas tree scans if you look on the open internet. I bet SysP still has questions like that. Probably, but they really shouldn't. Update your shit. And you proceed. A woman at a pharmacy tried to flex on me that her boyfriend was a certified ethical hacker. Oh, big flex. Alrighty. Alright, guys, we're going to be rating MT Taggart. Do you know if CRTO is value among HR and LinkedIn bros? Who gives a fuck what HR and LinkedIn bros think? Oh, who gives a fuck what LinkedIn bros think? You have to care what HR thinks, just because you have to get past them to get an interview. I think CRTO is starting to gain some recognition in that field, though. OSCP and EJPT will still carry more weight. But when you start getting into specifically red teaming, then yeah, CRTO will start to be asked for. It's a known cert in the industry. When's the next crypto hacking stream? We haven't done any crypto hacking streams yet. I had to put it on hold. I had to put my own crypto learning on hold because I was doing that night assessment, and I just had to put it by the wayside for a little bit. But we'll start doing crypto CTF soon once I feel comfortable with Solidity. Are searching your LinkedIn for OSCP and not CEH? Yeah. Yeah, OSCP is probably the most valuable cert when it comes to offensive cybersecurity. OSCP is the most valuable cert right now. Do you have to renew CRTO? No. And you have constant access to the course material, meaning that even when Rasta updates it, which he does relatively frequently, you still have access to it, even if you bought the course years ago. All right. Yeah, so CRTO is getting major recognition in my company's red team. They already know about it, but advised me to first start on pen testing, then move to red team in the future. That's what I would recommend too. Red teaming is like a subset of penetration testing. I would not try to go straight into red teaming. I would just try to be a penetration tester first. But yeah, the value you get with CRTO cannot be understated. CRTO is super high value. If you plan to take the CRTO, if you plan to register for the CRTO, reach out to me for my personal registration link. You'll support me a little bit, you'll support me a little bit, and I would appreciate that. What's the most valuable defensive cert? I'm not the person to ask, but you're probably looking at Sans certs there, Nezith. Ghost with the 15 months, thank you so much. Ghost with the 100 Tiggle biddies. I can definitely escape spraying kids. John Doe Norris with the 14 months, welcome back. And Jug Master Road Runner, thank you for the follow. Sec Plus is a great introductory cert, whether you plan to go defensive or offensive. Sec Plus is a good introductory certification. Still salty about the OSCP digital-only scheduling mine. What do you mean by digital-only scheduling mine? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Jiffaram. Oh, scheduling your exam. I thought you meant, like, mine. Hi-ho, like with a pickaxe. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The exam schedulings are first come, first serve. I'd advise you to check, like, every day, because people cancel their exams all the time. People are scared to take this exam, so they'll often, when they get a week out, they'll cancel it and then move it to a month ahead of time. I know, because I used to do this. I urge you to check every single day to see if a more agreeable date opens up, because people are constantly scheduling and rescheduling their exams. First week of June sounds good. You're gonna knock it out, Jiffaram. I feel good about it. All right, we're going to raid MT Taggart. He's doing attack on Tuesday. He's doing red team cloud architecture with Husky hacks. So it looks like we're going to be learning about the cloud today. We're going to be learning about the cloud. So bring Taggart glad tidings of dread Cthulhu, okay? Try not to make fun of him about his greasy hair, okay? But seriously, why does it always look like he has like... Why does it always look like he squeezed out a Domino's pizza over his head before every stream? Why is this? We don't know. It's unknown. Yeah, don't be mean. His hair is good. I'm not being mean. This is just facts. MT Taggart reminds me of the Green Power Ranger. But he's cool. He definitely is cool. He's definitely cool. I love Taggart. He's a friend. He's a friend, my dude. I'm just roasting him a little bit. That's what friends do. He's in LA. He has to use hair gel. Like, jokes aside, he does know his shit. I'm not trying to say he doesn't know his shit. I'm just saying his hair looks greasy. That's all I'm saying. All right. Go to bed tonight knowing a little bit more than you did yesterday. I'll see you guys again when the stars are right. We'll be back on Thursday with Cthulhu Thursday. Probably doing some Active Directory stuff. Have a good night, day, or whatever time it is wherever you are. Stay safe. Get vaccinated.